How you doing, guys? It's Chris from Northland Bushcraft. I'm going to do a short video here on the basics of things. Here we'll start out with right from scratch. A lot of this stuff is a no-brainer for those of you guys that have been doing this for a little bit. This is mainly designed to bring everyone back to roots and also to teach anyone that is just learning. So what we're going to do, I'm standing here in my backyard, we're going to take a little walk around here and see what we can find that is an ignition source or good all-purpose tinder for fire making, preferably something that you would locate year-round. Got lots of things around here that can be utilized year-round. So we're going to go through and show different things as to what is available, especially in certain areas. My area that's predominant, but if you're near water sources or anything like that, you're probably going to find these items. So we're going to do this video, get it shot up, and we'll get it posted, and as we go with it, we may just see which ones ignite best with a fire steel, and also what two combinations of fire tinders would help you get a fire the best. Okay, so stay tuned and we'll get this done. Okay, guys, our first fire source that we have, again, I'm by a water, and it's a cattail that's standing in front of us. The heads of the cattails are great fire starter. You can use them for two applications. One, you fluff them out, which I'll demonstrate shortly in the video. You can fluff them out, put a little bit more tinder on them, or stand alone, hit them with the ferrocerium rod, and they ignite like there's no tomorrow. Second thing you can do with them is, without fluffing them out and leaving them as they are, standing there, or sorry, as a full head like it is they smolder, right? So as long as it's not fluffed apart, they'll smolder. So if you're going from one camp to another, rather than have to do all the work of, you know, either using a bow drill or your fire steel and trying to start another fire again, you get the tip of that smoldering, throw it somewhere that you can hold on to as you're wandering to your next campsite, and it'll help get fire going. Because now all you got to do is just blow on it, you know, because you got a nice hot ember on the end of it, against your tinder bundle. Boom, you've got another fire. Alright, guys, here we have a standard cedar tree. Good thing about cedar trees is, yes, you can use the sap out of them. A little more difficult to get. Sap is a very reliable fire source. Takes a little bit longer to collect it up, also to ignite it. So you would need a separate ignition source, again, such as a cattail, to help that along. But once it gets going, much like pine pitch, it's very effective. However, part of a fire bundle, and we'll talk about tinders here, is the bark on a cedar tree. Right? You just shave this down, and you get a ton of it. Well, you really don't need a ton of it. You're just peeling it off like this. Right? Just scrape it down and off of the tree, and you'll get a handful. And you just kind of rub it out to break up the fibers. Take fire steel to that, and you're good to go with that one as well. Again, it's a combination of items that'll produce a fire the longest. So you take your cedar bark and your cattail, your fluffed apart cattail, make your bird's nest. Cedar bark's going to burn a little longer than the cattail. Well, cattail is going to go very, very fast, so you're hoping to catch it. and catch the bark. And again, the more area you have that's loosened up to catch that initial flame, the better you are. Okay, so just keep these things in mind as we're going along. All right, guys, here we got dried grass stalks. Another beautiful item. The seed heads, or the seed stalks themselves, are very light and airy, which will help catch with fire steel. The stalk itself, when utilized with other sources, because it's dried out, will help prolong your initial fire source, or your initial flame, to help you build your fires. Grabbing a handful of this stuff and basically creating a nest, a bird's nest, much like what a bird would do if you happen to find a bird's nest you further ahead. You're just creating your fire bundle, putting items together, and again, it's all dry sources. You find this year round. Right? You get once things start to grow, they start drying out near the top and stay solid or growing at the bottom, and it's year round. Okay, you can find these things, much like the cedar barks, much like your cattails. It's 365 days a year you can locate these items. Cattails, they're abundant all the time, especially near water sources. Fabulous little item from nature to do things with. Again, the tall grasses and your cedars, it's all part of a package that comes together to help build your fire. Okay, so we'll move on, we'll find some more items here, and we'll see what we can do. Alright guys, here I'm just on the inside of a bush line, just off my driveway actually. One I have in my hand is dried pine needles. Very prolific in this area. Pretty much anywhere there's coniferous forests, you'll have the pine needles. Beautiful thing about them, they still contain a touch of resin in them, so they help burn. Right? If you've ever thrown an actual live limbs onto a fire, you realize how quickly it goes. And that's just the protective mode of a pine tree, trying to get fire away from it as quick as it can. So it'll burn off all its needles as fast as it possibly can. On a dry day, you can scoop up a mound of this stuff just off the ground. However, if it's rainy days or whatnot, a lot of it you can find hanging from the trees here. And you can pick that off, and again, it's another item for your fire bundle. Or it can be used to stand alone through various other methods, either being a fire steel or a bow drill. Or if you have a lighter. Alright guys, check this out. Right here on a pine tree. Again, pine trees are beautiful for a fire source. Right there is a pine sap. Stuff's like gasoline. Right? And I'm sure you've all dealt with it. Well, sorry, can't say all of you have dealt with it. The vast majority of those who been doing this for a little bit have dealt with this and are aware of its properties. Just remove a little bit of this. This stuff is nice big chunk of it here. Just break off little pieces of this, add it to your fire bundle. It'll help get your fire going very well. It's not necessarily a standalone piece. I have seen some where it's been very, it's got a little more property to it where it has taken sparks, but it tends not to. If you take a lighter to it, it'll certainly ignite very quickly. So if you see this kind of items, collect them. Put them in Ziploc bags or a tin or whatever, and just keep them. Because they come in great, very handy for not just for fire purposes, but as a glue as well, right? For those that make arrowheads and other items, it's a great glue source. All right, so bear that in mind.